Mondays, I like to go ahead and do something with applications. Wednesdays is generally kind of like the mock interview call for anybody that's got like any active interviews that want to ask me questions about interviewing. And then Thursdays, of course, it's good old resume Thursdays. Um, with that said, I saw that like Austin, you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, did you get my LinkedIn message about that interview? Uh,
Yeah, I went ahead and applied. Thank you so much for sending that. I just
okay.
commented and thanked you for that. I appreciate it. That was a good find.
Yeah, I know it's a good find. I found it.
I know, I know.
For somebody who's looking to break into product management. Uh, Anywho, let's go ahead and start off. Michael, I'm on you, man. Okay, all right, what was I gonna say? Let's go ahead and just like quickly start off with I think everybody's like interview process, how many applications and then how many interviews they have going on for the week. Um, and then let's go ahead and start it off with Anthony. Thanks for sending me the one with DoorDash. Anthony, let's go ahead and start off with you. What's going on in your interview process?
So 247 applications total. Five round ones, one round two. Um, I think three of the round ones I've kind of ended. They ended over there. And one round two, I'm still waiting to hear back. I just saw that they reposted the role. So they took off down the role and they reposted it. So I think they're not happy with the first round of people they got. And then one round one is a request for like a 45-minute video submission, like answer these three questions. So, and the funny thing is, it came from like, I think the CEO himself sent me the email.
Okay.
I don't know if all of them, I don't know if he sends it to everyone, but companies happen. And in true tech style, it's like they remove one of the letters and remove the vowel. So it's like HAPN. So I don't know if you guys have applied to this company, but you might get it.
Okay. Before we get to any other questions, I just need to say this right now. If any company asks you guys to submit a video submission, I always say apply. This is the one definite time you can remember. Just don't waste your time with that shit. Especially if it's like round one.
JPMC just did that to me.
Was that
JPMC just did that to me.
JP Morgan Chase?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
there's this
sitting
one.
on that.
Oh, there was this one company called I don't want to name names in LA. Snack Nation.
Nah.
Snack Nation.
Loud and proud.
These mother lovers, they're like, oh yeah, we just want a 3 minute pitch from everybody. No idea what they're doing. They ended up getting 8 hours worth of footage. Like people were like auditioning for the next like Survivor, and they're like, oh shoot, now we gotta. I was like, yeah, that's why it was a bad idea. You guys gonna parse through all that shit like you're the NSA? Freaking losers. It's never a good idea to do that. They just think like, oh yeah, and then like it comes in, they don't watch it, right? Also, one more thing. I gotta say this shit because this just strikes an emotional chord with me. Any company that's like, we need you to submit this case study before we skip it. They get like 80. I remember when I was a junior recruiter, my boss told me to push back on that type of nonsense because they get 81 PDFs, and then we end up calling them over and over. Did you guys review it? Oh, not yet. So you guys had these people, you had 80, you guys are holding on to 81 case studies. Like what? You guys gonna do a product manager case study museum? Absolute waste of time. So before if they have to do any of that crap, I can go. Sorry, this is just my anger days for me. Like, yeah, you really want to do that? Yeah, you really want to do that? And then like when I got more senior in my career, I'm just like, you guys are the dumbest mother. But anyways, cool. Next off, Daniel, applications, interview numbers, baby.
Yeah, this week I have done around 95 applications and I have 3 interviews.
95 applications, 3 interviews. Seems to be the clear conversion right now that I'm hearing from people is about 30 to 1. Okay, sounds consistent. Ellie, what's going on with you?
In total, I've done 180 applications. I've had 3 interviews, 3 round ones. One's tomorrow. One is a video submission as well. So maybe won't continue that after that sound advice. And then hope I had a recruiter outreach as well. So hopefully that'll be a round 1 soon.
Okay, cool. Are you planning to hit the slopes anytime soon?
No, but I am heading to Asia, heading to Singapore and Taiwan soon, in 2 weeks.
The freedom countries. I love it. Okay. Lawrence, congratulations on your offer, my man.
Hey, thanks. But that's not the end of the journey, so I'm still on and continue to apply. Definitely want more options. Definitely a sound advice, as well here. As you guys do get your first offers, don't get, really, I mean, yes, get excited about it, but continue applying because you might not know if the second offer could be better than the first one. For now, I'm biting the bullet just because I haven't had anything, so I'm taking what I can get for now. But I have today I applied to about 45 applications. The past weekend, I or like this past yeah this past like weekend I applied to about 80 applications. I have a round 2 with CarMax, with VP of product and a director of product, and then a following case study lined up on Monday with them. So as far as like I guess my objective here for today's meeting is to ask for help with case studies.
Yeah,
But that's it so far for me.
got it. Got it. Austin, what's your interview activity looking like, man?
I got my first round 1 interview for next week. I have been getting kind of active since we did the resume review on Thursday. So Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was able to put in 30 apps a day. And then after this call, I'll probably aim for another 30. But yeah, super excited about that one. I've been slowly getting more comfortable reaching out to recruiters. Got back to that one recruiter I mentioned that had reached out before I got the resume feedback, and hoping to convert that probably next week. I think they're sifting through resumes right now.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Julia, you're new here. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna throw you under the bus.
I was like, please don't ask me. I do have a question for everyone though.
Shoot.
I was curious if like everybody is applying like through LinkedIn or the company sites like by hand, or I know that they have some tools out there that kind of assist to make the application process quicker. Or like I was curious what the estimate like amount of time it would take for everyone said they were applying to like 30 jobs a day-ish.
I think someone dropped a golden nugget like a few weeks ago to use Simplify Jobs. That's like a Chrome plugin. And yeah, that like sped up the application process exponentially.
Okay.
Like on the air. I think it's simplify.jobs, right?
Okay.
Anthony?
Yep.
Yeah, simplified our jobs.
Yeah, that really helps like populate all those applications super quick. Even uploading your resume, super easy. But in terms of places to apply, I've been using what Rich suggested, which was builtin.com, and I think it changes depending on like the state, but that's actually where I got the first round interview. And there are a lot of like smaller startup companies on there that are posting like very frequently. Like every time I'm on there, there's like hundreds of postings like posted from a couple hours ago or like a couple
Awesome.
minutes ago. So that's been doing me pretty good. I'm trying to stay a little bit away, not stay away from LinkedIn, but like changing up the locations of where I'm applying from or applying to. So
For
like
sure.
Rich on, I don't know if you have the Airtable. There's like a quick link on the,
Somebody hook her up.
yeah, somebody got it saved. But there's like a whole, I mean, I think Rich is posting job postings on there, and then he also has job boards, like over 20 job boards on there. So my thing was I'm just going through like attacking one job board a day or something, trying to. That's the goal. Try out different job boards, see what really works. But so far I've really liked built-in.
The
Built-in.
best one. It's one of the best ones.
Yeah, built in. There's a specific
Yeah.
like depending on what city you're in, there's like built like for me, I was living out in LA for quite some time. There's built in LA, there's built in Chicago, built in New York. But there's also a broad general built in.
Yeah. Uh, and then let me see here. Don't worry, Julia. You'll be interviewing in no time. You'll get a chance to see combat. Whatchamacallit. My favorite guy, Michael Estoy.
Well, thank you. So I am up to 31, and that yielded 3 round 1s, and then one of the round 1s converted to a round 2 because I know someone
Nice.
who vouched for me. So all that's
Yeah,
happening this week.
got it. Okay. My man, Mo. What are the numbers, man?
Um, so far I applied to 26. I have one round one on Friday.
One round one on Friday. Okay, good. So that's a good start. CJ.
Okay. Been 75.
Oh,
Ramped up my LinkedIn outreach today. And I don't have any more interviews just yet, but I do have the one tomorrow, the round 3.
got it. Got it. Okay. And then there's some Sandy, what's going on with you?
Hey, so this week my application numbers are low because I've been interviewing. So I've applied 10 jobs so far this week, but I had 6 round 1s and 1 final.
6 round 1 and 1 final. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. I love it. Okay. Somebody go pay
While I'm at it, can I ask a question if anyone's experienced this before? So in my round 1 interview, sorry, the final interview that I had yesterday, the hiring manager, she's one of the hiring managers, after the interview was done, she kind of goes, I wanted to kind of talk to you about something. So this is a product analyst role, and they essentially like work hand in hand with product managers. So we kind of share the responsibility essentially, but it's more on the strategic and analytical side. So she kind of made this comment that, hey, if an offer was to extend to, if we were to extend an offer to you, I really want you to consider, you've been a product manager for 8 years or so. So I want you to consider between these two roles. It kind of took me aback, not gonna lie to you, because it was like, are you saying like, am I not a good fit or am I overqualified to be in the position? Like, I was confused.
Hang
Have
on.
you ever experienced
Hang on. We got to get through numbers.
this?
Everybody type. If you guys have questions, type the questions out. Otherwise, This is another 3-hour group therapy session for me. And then, contrary to popular belief, I'm not as passionate about product management as most people think I am. So let's go ahead and get through this call. Type out the question. I will 100% get to it. But I also have like, let me see here. I just want to get numbers from, I see Sarab is driving. Devarsh, what are your numbers like? Devarsh?
Hey, sorry. My numbers, I probably did like, I don't know, 90 applications this
Hmm.
week.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, I have a couple of round twos this week, round one. Um, one of the contract positions didn't pan out. They went with someone else. And the Department of Defense one, they said, oh, you need to move to DC if you want this job. So that's no longer an option. But yeah,
Kelly,
I'm gonna
uh,
what?
I was like Department of Government Efficiency. Um, but yeah, okay. So those two didn't pan out. Did you have any other activity that you have on the books?
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of I have two round twos this week, and no round threes yet. But yeah, two or three round ones and a couple of round twos. Yeah, nothing after though.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And then Mr. Alonzo.
I just got started. I have about 20 applications. I haven't heard back from anyone so far. I had one recruiter reach out for a role that I didn't apply for, and then I didn't get back any response after that. So I'm not sure where that is going.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all from me right now, at least for this week. I haven't seen anyone reach out from the recruiters in terms of round
Got it.
ones.
Got
I
it.
had a question in terms of like because I heard like it seems like the expectation on average, it seems like there's one
We
round
got
one
to
per
put,
third.
I just have to, I don't mean to be rude, but like in order for me to get through numbers, because we're already like at
Oh
like
yeah, sure.
25,
We can do
everybody
questions later. Yeah, that's
type in
fine.
all your questions into the chat.
Yeah.
Kartik, what are your numbers?
Hey Rich. Yeah, I actually missed a couple of the calls, the last
I
couple of calls.
noticed.
So, uh, but I did apply to about 50 jobs in the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is not a lot, but I've just been busy with work. But I don't have any interviews or no one has called me. In fact, I've been getting rejected within hours of applying.
Okay. So have you been like, we need to get those numbers a little bit more consistently, and then also
Yeah.
you need to be showing up a little bit more consistently here too, but we
Yeah.
got you. Uh, uh, I think the last person that I have right here is Chabuna. Or-
Hello, hello, long time.
Tell me about it, man.
Man, so I'm back on the job market for like a week now. I think I applied to like 70 roles in the last week. I did have a couple of prolonged interviews that
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from. A couple second and third rounders.
Got it.
I had one first round to this week, but so far I think it's total three interviews.
Okay. Okay. So like I think like moving forward, so just to like give you guys like some expectations here is like we want to go and make sure that we're taking care of like numbers like when we're coming in and just kind of getting that thing done quickly within 10 minutes because like Wednesdays, Wednesdays what we really want is like to just answer any questions because some of you guys are literally just one interview away from like getting your next job. So please come in here with your interview questions ready to go. So this is day 37 of the challenge. Plex, you remember that day 37? You guys should all be saying thank you to Plex because she's the one that's actually updating all of that information on Airtable for you guys, like pretty much like giving you guys the blueprint of the bank to do hostage rescue before you guys are breaking in there like the SWAT team, the screenshots, the LinkedIn hiring managers, like info, all of that stuff right there is all her. Um, And then okay, so if you guys have questions, pipe it in, but I'm gonna go ahead and start getting down to everybody's questions. I really don't mean to sound rude because I wanna be like respectful of everybody, but if we all like just bust out a question, like it just prolongs the call. With that said, let's talk about it. Question number one. Da 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 da. Let me see here. Okay, I have this in the chat now. Okay, a couple of updates on top of like Lawrence also getting the job. I wanted to go out there and actually just bring this thing to like everybody's attention because I'm like the videos that I send out like in between the calls, please, 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 please get to those videos because like I'm actually trying to expedite the job hunting process for y'all. When you guys are hitting up the roles, and I'll talk about this a little bit towards the end. I think everybody's seeing my screen here. When I'm posting up these jobs like that are on LinkedIn, like when you guys are clicking on them, so somebody from Vanta, it's on the Airtable. They're like, I'm hiring for a product manager role. When you click on the link, how I know that a lot of people are just not getting like the volume that they want, I just piped out another video, which is like how to go ahead and hit 100 roles in like 30 minutes, right? Okay, so like they're hiring for a senior product role. When I click there, it went directly to the company career page. And then which went to like obviously the overview application. We've all kind of seen this already. When I came back and I took a look at like product department, okay, and they actually had like one product manager opening, two product manager openings, three product manager openings, four product manager openings, five product manager openings, six product manager openings, seven product manager openings. So there's actually like every single role that I post up, you can expect on average an extra 3 to 4. This was actually another one too from a company called like Nice. They posted up for one role, the person that was hiring for Atlanta. And then I found out they're hiring also for like, okay, fraud and AI analytics product manager over there in Hoboken. This is a role in Bolivia, Israel, right? We don't really have people in those countries that are operating, but okay, another one for a senior fraud product manager. And then we have like a workforce management product manager, right? So the video that I'm going to send out, and even this one here for Y Combinator, which we've all heard of, they have the role open. Usually when roles that are posted for Y Combinator have the founders here. And I took a look at Y Combinator. We can all agree on something here. In this market, if you're good enough to get funding right now, and this is the hardest time to go out there and get funding. Their office is actually in like Santa Monica, where Lawrence and I first met like a decade ago. Like if you're good enough to get, I mean, at that time, Lawrence, like you could just walk into one of these VC's office in Santa Monica and be like, "We're revolutionizing the way people buy coffee," and you'll walk out of there with 3 million. Because me and my coworkers used to be like, "We're working way too hard." Like if you're good enough to get funding right now, these are the roles that you really want to go out there and hit. In the next session, I actually really want to just talk about like I just recorded because I only have so much time with you guys. I'm dropping a YouTube video today where it's basically I am just sending like showing you guys how to send the message to these people with like ChatGPT, how to make it a lot faster, and also how to use it without ChatGPT if you guys like ran out of like your ChatGPT credits. Oh yeah, every prompt you guys hit that burns up 3 quarts of water for all of you environmental enthusiasts. Just so you guys know. But like all the companies that just literally they got funding right now are great companies for you guys to go out there and hit. And then it's like they go for like similar jobs. Same thing, like technical product manager, product manager. I've actually reached out to some of these founders already. I have conversations going. Um, and then I also want to go ahead and get ready to pipe in. I'm just gonna add my IG for anybody that needs faster access to me. And the reason for that is I'm getting like right now 40 video editors reaching out to me a day on LinkedIn asking if like I need help with my YouTube videos because I put out so much content. So sadly to say, I do spend most of my social media life on Instagram. So if you're like Rich, I'm not like on Circle all day, right? So it's like Rich offer, Rich case study, Rich, like just hit me up there because I'm getting blown up so much by like video editors. But they have so many product manager roles here, and all of these roles they just got funding, and the majority of it is within AI. And the beauty of it is like they don't have a recruiter because the recruiter is the last person you hire after you get funding. The thing is, most of the founders, they're the first product manager, and then well, I'm talking to a resident YC guy, Daniel, right here, so you could probably even host a session on this with me. But like they hire like as soon as they get the cash, they hire like product team, engineering team, definitely like a head of sales or somebody that's going to run the revenue side. The recruiter is the last person that they're going to hire, and that's why they use like a recruiting agency. This is just a great way for you guys to just go direct to the founder. I piped in like I think on the video that we're getting ready to go ahead and drop after this Plexi. I'm going to show you where the video is, and if you could just post it on Circle. I actually have the messages that I used to use when I was a recruiter, like, hey, congratulations on securing like Series B, 130 million. So exciting on like, you guys are out here actually combating diabetes, or you guys are actually, I have like message templates there. I will go ahead and preface this though. There will be, before ammo, I will go ahead and preface this. Working as a product manager, usually the first product manager at a Y Combinator company will require a lot more work because you're going in there like they're dropping you off in Mars. There's nothing there. Or if or like that show Yellowstone, it's like, yeah, you can get a piece of land out there in Montana, but there's not going to be any stores there, toilets, any of that shit. But if you guys are talking about fast turnarounds, for some of you, I know that you guys are looking for jobs. Some of you guys may be looking for a little bit more senior career. In terms of like security of the company, little bit higher spot. But in terms of like volatility and work-life balance, I will preface you probably won't have some for like the first 3 to 6 months, but it also really depends on your vibe. Some of you guys need to secure work immediately, and some of you guys kind of want to play a startup game. But turnaround times is a lot faster because you can literally just reach out to a Manav, or you can just reach out like Scott. The posting that's on the Airtable is directly from Manav, and he's like, I'm looking for somebody. We're a small team of like 14. We just secured funding after like 5 years of grinding, and we're really looking for our first product manager, help us take us to the moon. And yeah, I think it's an exciting company. With that said, watch the video because I posted up a lot of message templates on there. Do not subscribe to the theory that the market's bad. I still have very much on my plate to get everybody here out into a job by Valentine's Day. Michael posting up that comment on Circle, dude. You're not trying to hang out here after next Friday, man. I mean, come on. Why would any of you want to hang out here by next Friday? I mean, even Julia here, you could totally just take a job like that. It's not this like long, hard grind. With that said, let me just go through the comments. I'm gonna start all the way from the very top. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so question number one that's coming in here. Oh, yeah, and one more thing. Plexi and everybody here remind me. I saw this new AI job hunting tool. I took a screenshot of it on my other iPhone. That's supposed to be better than Simplified. All of yours responsible, and it even I saw the demo is pretty cool. Somebody remind me to go ahead and post that thing up on Circle. Whoever wants to try it, kind of compare it, uh, let me know. But like, yeah, remind me. I saw that thing at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So all right, let's get it now. Da 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 da. Okay. First question coming up. Seems like the average of getting round ones is like 30 applications for those who have done round one so far. Uh, has it been like applying to multiple locations or is it targeted into your location? Uh, I've seen the conversions that I've basically seen are 30 applications to one round one, upwards of 100 applications to one round one, but everything kind of trickles down. And that's also why every Thursday I've been hosting a resume call for anybody that wants to add any tweaks or updates onto their resume. But like just get out what it is that you can go out there and get out. And definitely be paying the hiring managers directly too, because like that's the easiest way to get a response. Um, give me any like additional clarifying questions, Alonzo?
Yeah, so another question was like for everyone here that it's already like, on the process of getting round ones is everyone applying to a targeted location? For example, like I am close to New York City. So show like are people just like across the whole like country, like nation, or it's just like now it's more like narrowed? What stages are people like applying right now?
I think right now, like to answer that question, everybody should just be hitting like everything right now, like targeted, untargeted, because it's basically a volatile, a very, very like volume driven game. And I would recommend that for you.
The reason I'm asking is that, I mean, previously, from my experience as well, like I've done like across the nation, like, all kinds of locations, and that was with the sole purpose just to get practice right for round ones and round twos and until round three. And then later on, we went on and did like our like, favorite location or whichever is closest to your location where you live. So I was wondering, is that still the strategy everyone is doing, even though they're getting multiple round ones, or are this majority of these round ones all within the location that you want to work on?
And so, anybody want to go out there and chime in really quick before I get to Mo's question?
I kind of did the same strategy. At first, I was like, where do I want to work, or like where should I apply to? But at the end of the day, it's like, what do you want, right? Like for me, my first priority is remote. So I'm just filtering out anything that's remote. And then the next would be where I'm living now. And then if there is another, and then I guess the third like priority would be if you're willing to relocate, then apply to that location that you want to relocate. But most of my stuff is predominantly remote, so it's based on your preference, right? I think the way you're tackling it is fine to get practice. It doesn't matter where you're applying to. But at the end of the day, it's you know, if they ask if you want to come into work hybrid, then you're gonna have to say yes or no, right? And if it's hybrid, then it has to be a location that you can commute to.
Oh yeah, I get it. Thanks, Lawrence, for clarifying. I just wondered, like, is everyone else the same kind of strategy, or like, I know like there's two options, right? Either remote or you have like close to your location, unless you're like willing to relocate. But
There you go. There you go. Okay, next question I have is recruiter chat coming up this week. Is it primarily behavioral or more conversation? Buddy, only the recruiter is going to go ahead and know. Drop more, get more volume out there, and do more recruiter calls. The recruiter call is probably the least of your worries, but if anybody wants to go ahead and do, for those of you that are a little bit farther along the process, if you guys want to go ahead and do like a mock interview with Mo, I'd highly recommend it. Next question is Austin. Anybody know who to reach out to? I thought, dude, your branding's ready to go, no? Austin?
Yeah, you reviewed my resume, and I'm confident in everything right now, but I was just curious to see what like the people would say in terms of feedback. Yeah, but there's like no rush. What's that?
And fire that thing up.
Yeah, I'm going. I forgot. I think I asked it. Like I think you mentioned his name, but I just forgot. So
Got
it's no
it.
big deal, though.
Okay, so Lawrence. It's very cool that you and Lawrence live so close to each other.
Yeah, we might see each other tomorrow.
There you go. Okay. Sorry if this is a bit broad, but how do you tackle case studies? I'm horrible at them. The preface, the guideline. See here, the CarMax is given to me. Selling Japanese maple trees online. How do you approach the problem? How does the initial problem speak to you? What enhancements can you bring to the buying process? What would the new investment mean to improve the process? How do we simply improve the process of buying trees?
Well, this
Okay.
is just a general question. Like they're not gonna ask me exactly those, but the recruiter told me today, he was like, this would probably get your mindset in the right in the right mindset. This is kind of the questions that you want to think about. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna ask me yet, but again, just to reiterate, this is the guideline question, kind of.
Got it. Okay. So that one's probably going to take up the rest of my time.
Yeah, we can go through some, yeah, like
Yeah, but like
questions.
I want to definitely get to it. Give me a second here. Karthik, we do resume reviews now. For anybody that wants me to go ahead and get reviewed to them, is going to be like every Thursday. So yeah. Mo, you've already been approved by me. So you're getting interviews, man. You got to ramp up on the volume. Everybody here should be applying like together. Give me a second. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Okay. Noob question. Is it okay to ask recruiters for what to expect in the first meeting with their recruiter? I don't know. Have you been on a first date before and you asked a girl on Tinder, like, what should I expect on the first date with a girl on Tinder?
No, I'm good at dating. I'm not good at interviewing.
I did on my first date in Asia. I was like, what's the
No, the one that you paid the guy to find the date for you. What do you want?
Oh man.
All
That's
right, yeah.
that's on my personal Richard Chen YouTube channel, First Date in Asia. That one actually did better than any product management video that I release to get people real jobs.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay, you can ask them for 100%. Like I think like in terms of like great questions to go out there and ask. What's the expectation on a first date? Good questions for you to go ahead and ask is how long has the role been open for one? What are has been some of the challenges? And people ask me like, is this better asked like during the first beginning part of the interview, the middle part of the interview, or the last part of the interview? In the interview curriculum that we have here, we talk a lot about breaking the model of QA, 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 which is like question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. You guys really want to get into the mode that like you're having like a regular conversation. And the people that I've seen that have done the best in the interviewing process, the people that I've seen that's done the best in the interview process really just start like this is actually why it's so important to get more interviews on the table is the more comfortable you are with the interview process, the easier it's going to be for you to talk to them like you're already working there. The people that get jobs are talking to companies as if they're already working there. They're really breaking that friction of like that awkwardness. They're like, lack of a better way of saying it, awkwardness has ruined more people's job prospects than experience. They'll say it in a very nice way, like, oh yeah, we just thought somebody else was a better culture fit. Like, we would much rather have alcoholic beverages with that person than you. So we actually felt somewhat uncomfortable even speaking with you. So, whoa, I'm not cool enough to work here. That's what we would want to say, but we don't want to get blasted on Reddit, or TikTok. So yeah. So like the thing that you
Sounds
should
like first date.
right. So the thing that
Sounds
you
like
should
dating.
actually have more of a conversation of with like round one recruiters is basically is going to be this, right? And let's go ahead and break it down. First question, and I'm actually going to type all this up and just actually have it on the Airtable under the kind of like round one interview guideline as like some of the best interview questions to go out there and ask.
Love that.
Okay, so like let's go ahead and take this one down, right? So the first question that you want to go ahead and ask the recruiter is, everybody should already be going onto LinkedIn, looking up who the recruiter is before they should, and connecting with the recruiter before they even talk to the recruiter, along with everybody else that they interview with. Sounds like a very rookie move, but it's really not. Connecting with the recruiter or connecting with the head of product, connecting with the director of product. Like Lawrence was interviewing with Foot Locker last week, and I actually did it in the video where we were looking for the oh, give me a second. Hang on. No. Bakası.
Hey Sandy, what's your email? Sandy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Whatchamacallit. Okay, so like what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Sorry, folks, it was a cleaning lady. But oh yeah, so go out there, add the person that you're gonna go ahead and actually like gonna be speaking with. And then like Lawrence, he had the it was basically this video here where we're looking up where we're basically looking up the hiring information, and we actually found out that like, oh yeah, like my daughter is just like starting her like career journey, like anybody that wants to add her in, like it's how to find the contact information for hiring managers. Highly recommend you guys get on that. But any type of like personalized information, things that you guys get injured, that's great. First question coming off the bat, role play this a few times. Hard take. Oh, thank you. Go in there, show up excited. Thank you so much for scheduling time to go ahead and speak with me today. I understand you must be so busy. For starters, can I ask you like, what was it about my resume that stood out to you so much that prompted you to schedule a call with me? I can imagine right now that you don't have a shortage of resumes. You need to come in there knowing initially like, hey, 278,000 people got laid off. So when they saw your resume, they actually were thinking there was a reason why you're a good fit. You need to figure out your product market fit from the very beginning because they have a KPI too. Recruiters on average, when I met Lawrence a decade ago, we were responsible for recruiting about like 30 positions at any given time. Right now, it's moved up to 70 positions at any given time. So like, 끝났어요? 네. 네네네. 네. 네. 네, 감사합니다. So like, yeah, it's kind of like this. You know, my parents said I would never learn how to speak Korean or be able to live in Korea. Mom, we'll just have to see about that. But like, okay, so how many resumes did you like sort through? You have to understand your product market fit. They have a KPI too. 40% of the people they pass over to the hiring manager has to pass through the head or director of product to go to the next round. Otherwise, somebody like Anthony's going to be like, yo, Lawrence, Rich was wasting my time this week. He had me speak to 8 people. I only passed over one. Why we even have him on the payroll? Lawrence isn't trying. Lawrence is going to be like, yo, Rich, you amateur, what is wrong, man? You're completely off your game. So like every bullet they fire over there, because like they're scared of that, right? So you have to understand and you have to help the recruiter pitch you. Not everybody the recruiter recommends to the hiring manager is going to get an interview, even though the recruiter knows they're good for the job. So you need to help the recruiter help you out. And a lot of times recruiters are stressed AF and they don't know how to help you out. So like you need to go ahead and ask, what was it about my resume stood out to you guys so much that prompted you to schedule a call with me? I imagine you don't have a shortage of resumes to sort through right now. Okay, is this second question, is this a brand new role or did somebody just leave? This is very important, and I'll tell you why. Brand new roles are much more difficult to fill than somebody just left. Why? Because companies don't want to spend money. So when Anthony's like, yo, Rich, man, I'm freaking overworked AF. We've been asking for somebody for the past 5 months. This role should have been filled since Halloween. That's true. I'm sorry. So what ends up happening is this. If somebody just left, they have a budget that's approved, the budget's ready to go, and all you got to do is like, who left? Michael left. What did Michael do? And how do I go ahead and I will do everything that Michael did and then some, right? That's the strategy that you go there. You pivot right, you pivot left. Oh, it's a brand new role. Brand new roles are legitimately harder to fill. So when you guys are wondering, like, I felt like the interview went really good, and like, I don't know why I'm not getting this job. It's because it's a brand new role. The majority, and with the brand new role, the hard thing is giving you guys some context here is this. At what point do we bring in the person where it's just manageable? From the business side, they are hoping that that role never gets filled. Why? Because they're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna find somebody. We'll get some interviews going, but in the meantime, you guys still need to be working on that shit, right? If they finish doing, and then it's like it's perfect. They don't have to spend that budget because you don't know somebody else is gonna quit or like, we need to hire somebody else anyways, right? So they're just gonna stretch it out. So a strategy to go ahead and placate existing working teams is to start getting the interview process going. So it seems like they're going to hire somebody. They never had an intention of hiring anybody. But here's the thing. If you're a really good candidate, then they will pull the trigger. So you need to understand exactly, okay, so it's a brand new role. What are the expectations? Next question to follow up with is like, and understand these questions. This is why it's so important to do mock interview sessions. It's like a date. You don't blast all of them up front. Whether it's the beginning, the middle, or the end, you don't just rapid fire like, and then, and then, and then, and then, and then, and then that. You have to give a little bit, you have to take a little bit, and you're going to have a conversation with them. That is a freaking skill. So the next question that you want to go ahead and ask is this: where is everybody falling short? There's no shortage of people that's out there right now. There really is no shortage of people that's out there right now. You can get anybody you want, literally anybody that you want, right? This is like, uh, gosh, you're like, I don't know, in an industrial warehouse for weapons after the fall of the Soviet Union. There's nothing but product managers on the street. So where's everybody falling short? You need to find out what's going wrong. I would say a few other bonus questions that you want to go ahead and throw in there that can make you stand out if you have some time, if you can finagle it in. And this is kind of like, imagine playing a video game like FIFA or Call of Duty. There's levels to this shit. But the closing all happens in the round one. Because if you can get the recruiter on your side, you have the job. Like Lawrence and I have a good relationship. Him and I have similar interests. So when he came in here, honestly speaking, there was somebody else that was better for the job, but I threw him in there instead. Because I didn't like the other guy. So, you know how like bouncers at like a New York nightclub feel like they have all the power in the world, but like, like this, I control this. Yeah. So get the okay, a few other bonus questions that you can throw in for the recruiter on the side is going to be this. What do you think hasn't been resonating with the hiring manager? Like, what do you think? Like, where do you think it's like, where do you think the disconnect is? And this, you don't want to keep it as a standard robotic question, but okay, you want this job off your plate because recruiting for 70 roles is freaking insane. And you're not getting paid enough to do even 30 roles a year. So, like, you're sending them people over there. You got a KPI to go ahead and meet. Right? You got a KPI to go ahead and meet. So like you don't enjoy sending people over there just for the head or director of product to be like, that was an absolute waste of my time, right? Where do you feel like things are just not connecting? And this is where they give you a lot of shit, that and you throw in there that's making your life a living nightmare. Yo, let me tell you why. All right. This Michael just doesn't know what he wants. Or he just keeps changing his mind every single week. It's been difficult for me too, right? And you know what? People love complaining. You know, that's why there's a whole therapy session. You know, like you ever have friends that like their marriage is not working out? They're trying to get like a marriage counselor, some couples therapy. They can't even get a session in the next 3 months. People pay to complain, dude. They monetize off of that shit. So it's like Michael just does not know what he wants. And it's been changing every single week. They love that shit, right?
You asked that
Uh,
question even for brand new positions or just for
no, well, this is like a brand new position, right? But no, just in general, like just ask them, like, you guys, I mean, let's just make the conversation so much more simple. Uh, they need a role that's filled. They're wasting their time talking to you. What's not working out? You got nothing but talent. There's the number of people willing to take 20, 30, $40,000 pay cuts is freaking insane out there right now in the market, right? We're talking about highly qualified people. I mean, I just talked to right now before this call a Harvard MBA grad that was getting ready to break down. So market right now is volatile AF. So it's like you guys have all this talent. You're spending all your time sourcing resumes, which I'm pretty sure you'd rather be watching Netflix or doing nothing. You guys are spending all this time booking interviews, right? Like clearly, and it's a buyer's market. And the reason why they're posting up all these roles on LinkedIn is they're just like, why are we getting all this crap talent when there should be nothing but fire talent out there? Well, is your expectations not in the right place? Or what's going on? And then the bonus piece of information that I would love to go ahead and instill on you guys is this. A great way, and I just literally remember this. Start off the interview and say, like, thank you so much for your time. I can't imagine what it's like to be a recruiter in your position right now. You must have more resumes than you can sort. I just want you to know that I'm very excited about this position. And if I'm not a good fit, I would love to refer you to somebody in my personal network that is, so you don't have to spend another hour, 2 hours of your life sourcing resumes for this role when you got like 70 other roles to recruit for. One of the things that keep a recruiter very aggravated is their time is not infinite. Especially now when they're expected. Everybody's doing more, right? Everybody's doing more. I pump out more YouTube videos in a week now than I used to do in like a quarter. You guys are seeing that. And everybody's attention span is getting shorter. So you got to understand when you're talking to a recruiter, they're stressed out that like I'm wasting my time talking to you when I could be talking to somebody else. And and I need this role off because the last thing they're trying to do is join a program like this, paying to how to learn how to get a job and applying all day. All right. And unlike your very valuable technical skill sets or product management skill sets, not a lot of jobs that offers into recruiting. Career coach is like probably one of them. But I used to have cigarettes with my boys all the time at lunchtime. I was like, yeah, we got to get the hell out of this racket. But what are we gonna do? Is either like working at a staffing agency, working in recruiting, or career coaching. I just chose career coaching. There's not a lot of there's a lot of transferable skills, but not a lot of companies like care to hire recruiters. You know, so they're always like stressed out and they're always aggravated. So you're going in there like, oh, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm like being a professional. I researched the role. I LinkedIn connect with everybody. What they're thinking about is you're wasting my freaking time. You're going to be another dud. Because the thing that nobody wants to say in this market to a demographic that is already very wired right now is this. Every company has hired somebody that they've immediately had to let go because it turns out that they were a dud talent. And the kind of secret message that's going on in the chat rooms with other hiring managers is like, well, I could totally see why these people got laid off because they're just bad at their job. And that's created a very jaded process. That's created a very jaded process on the hiring side. You know, it's kind of like when you show up to a date in the city and you say you work at Goldman, you really can't expect a girl to have a positive impression of how long this is gonna last. Lawrence, you vaping right now, man? See, Michael's bad influence. It's the problem here. So you guys got to understand, and 30% of hiring managers right now, their significant other has also been laid off. And you guys might not have been very fun people to hang around with the last 6 months to a year. So you imagine going home to that shit. Like, baby, did you get a job yet? No, must be nice that you have one. It's like, yeah, but I'm also feeding two people. So like they're not coming in here professional. They're coming in here stressed out AF. So like with that said, like, those are the questions. Very baseline. It's not like don't treat it like a checklist, Austin or Mo. Have like know this is where they're coming from. This is where their emotional state of mind is right now. They're not exactly like all there. Ask them just very basic level, like be genuinely curious where it is that you fit in. Like it's nothing but talent, bunch of people willing to take a pay cut. There's a bunch of programs like this, like Product Gym. You guys obviously want this role off your desk. Budget's already approved. Otherwise, you would not be wasting your time talking to me if you didn't think it was a good fit, right? Like, what's going on? Where's the disconnect? Because with the amount of talent that's out there in the marketplace right now, any role should be able to be filled within 24 hours. Like on my side, if you're in hiring, it's great. We have MBA grads applying to work at Elevate Product Gym. A few years ago, that would have never happened. Had a startup? No way. So, yeah. Hopefully that was able to go out there and address some of your concerns. Alice, how's it going? I haven't seen you in years.
But I've been seeing you.
I've been here 4 days a week like I'm on OnlyFans. Welcome, welcome. Alice here is somewhat of a celebrity in our company because she's the record holder. She did 12 interviews a day way back. 12 in,
That was a
that was
different
something.
time.
Huh?
I think that was a different time.
That was a different, no, that was a different time. You were going to get a job in 5 weeks or get evicted.
Fair
She was
enough.
a rock star. She did Product Gym and Product School at the same time and was applying like 12 interviews a day. That was your I won't forget that. I was like, whoa. I was like, even I'm not talking to 12 people a day, dude. That's freaking because I was like doing all the sales at that time. No, that was mad energy. Mad energy. And that's the last thing that I really want to go out there and actually say. I can talk about the round ones all day, but the close is all in the round one. If you can get the recruiter on your side, and honestly speaking, be sincere about it. If you're not a good fit for the role, you guys should throw it back into the pot because I sincerely believe in my heart of hearts, along with all my Bitcoin, the best product managers are here. So if you're not the PM they want to hire, it's somebody here. It is legit somebody here. So this is actually what I'm telling you guys. Come back to these coaching calls. Everybody get to know each other. The last one we did intros and everything, but everybody has some background coming in from like marketing background, customer success background, finance background, right? Consulting background, MBA background, computer science background. If it's not you, it's somebody here. So Susan took down the director of product role over there at S&P Global from somebody else that interviewed at S&P Global. They're like, it's like us. Like, yeah, the guy gave her a whole blueprint. But she was also active in the community, yo. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so hopefully that took care of the round one stuff. Can we get each other's skills? Yeah, everybody endorse everybody's skills on LinkedIn. Help you guys ramp up on the algo. Everybody stay on the call for an extra 10 minutes to go out there and do that. Uh uh let me see here. Star example, I have already covered that. And if you type in star, I made a whole video off of that with 7 examples. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly get to some questions here. I get nervous in interviews if they ask for skills I don't have. Like if they ask for like the last time and I don't have it. Okay, here's how you go ahead and confront that. And I'm going to give it to you first, second, and third. Number one is if they ask you about skills that you don't have, and it could just be AI right now, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to acknowledge, I don't have that skill, or you want to acknowledge I'm less familiar. But let me tell you how I would go ahead and learn that skill and show them like, and actually have that question like ready to go and actually have a game plan. I would learn it with chat, like give an answer. I would learn it with ChatGPT. I'm going to give you an actual way I would phrase it up. But any skill that they're asking you for that you don't have, you should just watch a quick YouTube video just to get some type of like baseline familiarity with it. Because you probably should know, right? But you should also list out 3 or 4 skills that you did not have before. And this is how you learn those skills quickly. Okay, but let me go ahead and tell you this time when our email marketing specialist quit literally right before Black Friday. And they told me not only were they not planning to hire another email marketing specialist, but because we didn't have the budget, but even if we did, we most likely weren't going to hire this person in time for the Black Friday promotion. I went online and I subscribed to the newsletter of 7 of our biggest competitors, and I got on all their newsletters. I put the entire sequence on Miro, had my team vote on which email sequences that they liked the most, and we A/B tested 3 of those sequences, and I started tracking like click-through rate, open rate, and then all that other kind of stuff, right? You want to go ahead and give like one example. And it's like, and there was another time actually very recently giving examples out here where our team was extremely overworked, and it was apparent to me that I they weren't gonna, my data analyst was extremely overworked. And I just realized I wasn't gonna get my dashboards in time for the meeting that I had that we could no longer postpone just because we were trying to hit numbers for Q1. So I watched a few YouTube videos about how to turn data into, beautiful visuals for us, nice story to tell. And I popped it into ChatGPT and like, I basically figure it out that way. The key thing to memorize is this. Always have 2 examples that you're very legitimately proud of skills that you learned that you didn't have before. Everybody has skills that they didn't know, but like you're under the gun, so you have to just go out there and figure it out quickly. Right? And they're very proud of it. And when you talk about it, you're enthusiastic because you had to go out there and figure it out. And then afterwards, like give them like a second example, So let me give you 2 examples of like me learning skills that I have known before. Because here's the thing, in this market, you're gonna have to learn a lot of skills in a very short amount of time because the market keeps on changing faster and faster and faster and faster. So instead of just focusing on that one skill, I either have it or I don't. But here's the thing. Right now is February, and in the course of February to December, forget that. In the course of February to, March 28th, there's probably going to be 40, 50 other skills in this market that I'm going to have to learn that I have no clue what to do because we're short staffed, because we don't have the budget to hire, because we don't have the time for me to go through a certification class. And this is how I would tackle it every single time, right? So don't focus on not having that skill, focus on what you would do about it. So let's just say next week, our email, like they'll ask you like, let's say next week our UX researcher quits. What would you do? you know, and you can even pony yourself up and say, and this is what I would do. Let's just say if the UX researcher, I don't know if you have one, quits next week, this is exactly what I would do to handle it. If our product marketing person decides that for whatever reason they had to leave or, they got laid off and we still need that go-to marketing plan figured out, this is exactly what I would go ahead and do to get the go-to marketing strategy done, you know? Good to have, list out good to have roles like pricing analysts. Who's hiring pricing analysts these days? If our pricing analysts quit, this is what I would do to figure out how we would run a new pricing model, right? And honestly speaking, as a product manager, this is something that you have to deal with right now is like people getting laid off and they have no intention of hiring another person. So, who's going to do that? You. So that makes you more attractive. Now, first, second, and third on the back end, you definitely want to go ahead and watch some YouTube and TikTok videos about like, okay, you don't know how to A/B test, or like, okay, you don't know how to, pop a spreadsheet into ChatGPT, right? You probably want to go ahead and watch some of that because like that's something that, and you should always be learning how to learn is a skill. It's a muscle. I promise you that much. Okay. Makes you feel a little bit better about the nervousness. Is that a yes or no, Carter?
No, that's very good. Yeah, thank you. But so it's okay to say that I would use like YouTube or Chat GPT to get the
100%. That's
information I want.
exactly what they want you to
Okay.
say. What they don't want you to say is taking a certification class. Because I've seen so many people get rejected. They're like, I've seen so many people murder their interviews at like a Spotify, Airbnb, or Meta, and they're just like, hang on. So how long was your certification course? Oh, 12 weeks. And you completed it? Yes, I did. Oh, that's very good. You must be very proud of yourself. Yeah, I try to. It's like, and as soon as they leave the conference room, it's like, so this mother lover, every time you don't know something, we got to send you to a 12-week course. We only get 52 weeks in a year.
I have no certifications, and I've
Good.
I've started 3 certifications. I haven't completed either of them.
That's the problem. So any one of my
I
team
have
members
no
want to
time.
do
I
a
don't have time.
certification,
What's that?
any one of my team members want to do a certification, I almost just say like, okay, finish it and I'll pay for it. I want
Yeah.
the certificate of completion. Okay.
I have 3 pending certificates I haven't completed.
There you go, man. That's why I never believe in certification because it's just a way to go ahead and procrastinate. Uh, okay. So, uh, let me see here. Okay. So let's preface this. We got a few minutes left. And well, we went over it already, but I really wanted to address Lawrence's question. And before I do that, I'm going to tell you guys this. Between coaching calls, I will go ahead. Between coaching calls, I will go ahead and drop YouTube videos. It is imperative that you guys watch those YouTube videos before you guys get on these calls because the market is moving so fast that I do not have the time to go out there and constantly update the curriculum, making sure that it looks nice and pretty for you guys. And the reason why I'm moving at this level of speed is because companies in the next 2 quarters are going to make a dramatic push for in-person. Rich, does that mean remote's over? No, it does not. Remote is not over. If you get the intention that I want you guys to have right now is you guys get in right now as a remote person and you guys drive value, it's going to be pretty hard for them to haul you back into the office. And so as long as you're doing your job, they really don't care whether or not you're in the office or not. But when it becomes more standard, and mark my words, definitely by 2026, it will become standard for people to just show up to the office 5 days a week. And everybody before that is just going to be considered grandfathered in. Like you're not supposed to have an open fire oven in New York unless you were grandfathered in. Well, it's been there for 100 years. It's okay. But if you're a new restaurant, that doesn't exactly work out that way. Okay. So you guys want to go ahead and lock this thing down. Watch the video that I'm about to drop. You guys want to go ahead and lock it down. ASAP. I want all of you guys into a job by next Friday. You guys probably don't believe me, but honestly speaking, you guys really should because I don't want to be here next Friday. I'm looking for one of you guys to take over. Okay. I don't want to be here next Friday. You don't want to be here after next Friday either. Okay. So watch those YouTube videos that I'm posting up in between sessions because the more I'm talking to like recruiters, hiring managers, I'm getting I'm getting constant updates with the market because these days, every new tweet that real DJT posts up switches everything from one direction to the next. Last thing, if you guys need me more ASAP Rocky, That is the Instagram handle. I'm getting popped by 40 YouTube video editors a day, and that's scrunching that thing down. Unfortunately, I'm not on Circle at every waking moment, but I do spend a lot of my time on IG. So if you guys like, Rich, I got this offer, like what do I do? The more urgent responses, Mo, I already saw you on there right before I went to bed. Good job. Mo's probably gonna be blowing me up too much. But I am on there a little bit more.
I want to
Yeah.
be, I want to be with them. But what qualifies as urgent? Only offers or like case interviews?
Yeah, offers, offers. Um, you can always message. I will never block anybody. But all right, case study. Give me a second. I used to pay 6 G's a month living next to Penn Station. I didn't even feel safe walking down the street to get a slice at midnight. Now in Asia, they come clean my place up at least 3 times a week. Wi-Fi, everything's included. I love this place. But okay, Lawrence, let's not leave Lawrence hanging here. How would you approach the problem? How does the initial problem speak to you? So we're talking about selling jet. Did you come up with this problem or did they selling Japanese maple trees?
No, this is that's their case study.
Oh man, dude, did you tell them
That
how
they
much
can
you love Japan?
Yeah.
uh,
But the recruiter was like, he was like, obviously this is very a niche product, so they were like, that's kind of like what they're throwing at you. But he was like, to get your head in the right mindset, he was like, you've worked at Nike, you've worked at J. Crew. Just imagine if you're selling shoes or you imagine selling apparel, and just kind of think of like that user journey, I guess. But I don't know exactly what questions they're gonna ask in regards to like what the problem is or like what is the initial problem or like what enhancements would I would make. But in general, I guess, like how would you approach case studies? Obviously, it's a broad question, but what are your like, what are some of your sound advice?
initially, let me ask you this. When you're looking at this right now, like how to sell like maple trees online, what do you like what are just like I want to hear your process out a little bit too. What are you initially thinking?
My initial thought process is like, how big is the tree? Like, so like shipping would be like the first like, thought that would come to mind. Like, how would I go about um understanding the problem with shipping something, it could be a seedling, right? It could be, you know, um, like I don't know, like, so like the dimensions of the tree, like how would I handle um yeah, like because as far as purchasing like getting on the website, you know, going through the inventory, the user journey for the shopping experience, I think is kind of similar across the board, right? But when it comes to your checkout experience, shipment and all that, that would probably be something that would come to mind. Like, how am I going to get a team to ship out that tree? Um, but that's kind of like where, I guess my first thought process would be.
Got it. Okay. Anybody else here want to go ahead and chime in? I know we got some rock stars. Let's make this thing interactive.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
you know, um, Anybody here want to throw their hat in? All my rock star product managers.
I'm sorry.
Anthony.
Repeat the question. What was the question?
Okay. How would you sell maple trees online?
In Japan, right?
How would you sell Japanese maple? Yeah, no, not in Japan. How
Oh,
would you
oh,
sell
not in
Japanese
Japan,
maple
in
trees online?
Japanese. Yeah. So I think the first thing would be to just slowly go over the question, right? How would you want to say, okay, Japanese maple trees, and just try to come up with some questions based on the the word. So this is kind of like a GRE or GMAT question. All the clues are kind of in there in the question. Sometimes there are not that, so that's totally fine. So I think yeah, what you said actually is first, right? So in general for case studies, you want to have some idea of the problem, then go to like people, right? So what are the people around there, and then what problems each of these groups of people have or segments have, and then you just pick a problem and find some solution to that. And your answer doesn't need to be like, it doesn't need to make sense in numbers. You just have to convince that person that this is the right thing. And this is why you thought this is right. That's what you need to do. It's not um it's not that easy, but it's something which once you get the flow of it, it's a little bit better.
No, no, I'm sorry. I think Mo had their hand up. You wanna?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, first thing I would ask is, what is the current journey? Like, what is your current pipeline of selling trees? What does it look like? Walk me through the process. Okay, you want to understand the status quo. You want to understand the journey of the value chain, and also at what point does the user is involved in there. Okay. And then so this is the status quo of understanding it. And then I would ask, what does success mean to you? What is it we're trying to achieve here? Or do we want to grow sales? Is sales healthy, or is it a process problem that we're trying to solve?
That is those spoken like a true consultant. Okay. If
I'm sorry, can I chime in as well?
hell yeah, man, I was getting ready to ask that.
I like what Mo said. I think I'll go a little bit further and kind of like just ask more clarifying questions. As far as like the demographic, as far as like, where the location is. And then once you start asking those, because the thing is like they kind of want you to ask more clarifying questions. That's why to make it super vague. So once you narrow it down and make it super direct as far as like understanding the demographic, understanding the social graphic, or understanding like where your audiences are as far as like the who is purchasing the trees, then you can sort of like get a better understanding like, okay, how can we make this an efficient process. So really just more so asking a lot of questions. What you don't want to do is you don't want to dive into trying to problem solve right away. The more you know about it, the better you can sort of like formulate your solution and formulate your answers, and then just talk through it. Once you're able to talk through it, and kind of like how Rich said, make it very conversational, then they will kind of see how engaged you are, and then they can also engage as well, and then that's how you can actually solve the problem.
There you go. There you go. All right. So, everybody had some really, 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 really awesome points. And the thing is, if they're asking you a question like this, especially coming from your Nike background, they're looking for like, if you're selling Japanese maple trees, why companies even throw out, let's walk you through. Like right now, you're gonna see more case studies like this that has to do with revenue. Like, why are we selling Japanese maple trees? Well, first and foremost is because we're trying to make money selling Japanese maple trees. So this could have been just selling Brazilian wax to Italian leather. It doesn't matter. They throw out these little things to go out there and throw people off. Where people start getting like a little bit twisted is they start looking like, why Japanese maple? Like, no, it could have been anything. It could have been cowboy hats to cowboy boots, right? So the first thing that you want to go ahead and understand is, yes, Chibona, am I even saying your name right?
Yep, Chibona.
Chibona. Is very right. You don't want to get too well in the weeds of it. You want to ask clarifying questions. Here is where asking clarifying questions, you should ask it because it's going to buy you time, because you need to think. And this is actually why I always have, like, I tell people, get on as many interviews as possible, because like you're gonna need that freaking thinking muscle while you're like navigating this, right? You're totally gonna go ahead and need that. Give me a second here. You're totally gonna go ahead and need that. If you don't know the answer, just keep asking, like, I would say 3 to 4 clarifying questions, but just know this. They're probably going to say whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want. And, we had this same question here where it was just like, we had the same question here where it was just like, we had the same question here where it was just like, how would you build an oven? How would you build an oven for people with like for people that are in wheelchairs, right? Well, are we building like a microwave oven, or is it like the industrial wave oven? Like, are we already like, yeah, whatever we want? Like, is it like for an apartment? Like, whatever it is that you want. Like, just know like that's usually what they're gonna hit you out with, because that's the truth. They just came up with this prompt. They don't have like actual specifics. They're not thinking about it like the Marvel universe, right? So you're asking at least 3 questions to just go ahead and buy time. Have those 3 questions ready to go, because that is going to buy you some time. But just understand, after you ask 3 questions, if you don't have enough emotional intelligence to realize that like they're not going to give you any information, that just makes you look like a very incompetent product manager. And if you get very frustrated, that just also makes you look like a person they don't want to hire. So it's like, okay, that's where you draw the limit. The next thing is you take a look at, I would do this to research the to go ahead and, well, figure out, we're trying to figure out how to sell Japanese maple trees. We are trying to make the most amount of money selling Japanese maple trees. That's what companies care about. It's cash. They don't care about anything else. So there's 2 ways we can do this. We can either make money selling Japanese maple trees for the most amount of money, right? And make this thing very premium and sell it low quantity, but at a very high transaction number. Or we sell it in high quantity, but obviously at a lower cost. Or the third thing here is we get people to buy our trees to buy more of those trees again. So you only really increase revenue 3 ways. Number 1 is you increase the transaction amount. Number 2 is you increase purchasing frequency. Okay. Or you go out there and increase the quantity of the purchase. It's only 3 ways. From this one time I snuck into like a Columbia MBA class. Okay. They said there's only 3 ways, right? So I would.
Can you repeat 3 ways again? Sorry.
Okay. Who asked the question? Lawrence?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's only 3 ways that you can go out there and increase revenue. You either increase the transaction amount, you increase the transaction volume, or you increase the transaction frequency.
Okay.
Frequency and volume is the same thing.
Yeah.
Not the way that professor described it, because like repeat customers, right? Like I'm gonna get a bunch of people to go out there and buy something. I mean,
Yeah, so the way you can increase volume is by acquiring new customers or increase repeat customers. That is the way that you're describing it.
right. But like the way that he responded to the student that asked that question is like, well, look at divorces. Technically speaking, you should only get divorced. Well, he's like, actually, no. He's like, you do get repeat divorces too. But anyways, how you would solve the problem is like the next thing is look at the existing competition and who's doing what and who's being the most profitable. I would go out there and research who the top players are in the industry. I would research who exactly are the top, who the top competitors are in the industry. I would take a look at what is that they're doing, how they are price. I do competitive market analysis. What is their transaction volume? How are they selling it? Where are they selling it? What are the proven like models where they are generating demand? And then on top of that, how are they? I don't know if I covered pricing yet, but how are they pricing? And I would take a look at how we can fit that into our own business model. If this is also something else that Mo also mentioned, I thought was very interesting is if this is also a question in terms of like, I would also take a look at this problem as what is it that we're trying to solve for? Is it actually also getting the product to the customer? My family's actually in the import-export business, and one of the things that we actually have gotten into recently is Uh, Actually, this is a very interesting question because we started move shipping like these like wooden goods. Like I think Lawrence, you saw it on my IG like last year. It's like furniture made out of complete wood and like monuments and stuff from Bali. And the weirdest people would go out there and buy this crap. Uh, but my dad's having a trip. This has actually turned into another one of his seven-figure hobbies. Yeah. But yeah, right. So I would do it that way. The most important thing that we can to go out there and take away is you have to understand that these questions are going to be more frequent. You should also be looking at the clock. I would recommend that because they're not going to want you to go into a lot of It's hard because they don't want you to go into a lot of detail. You usually have about anywhere, I would say, between 8 to 10 minutes is a good duration. You're not going to be spending all hour talking about this. They want to go ahead and get to the next question. As the market's moving faster, usually questions like this, they would have you do a whole presentation or put together a deck. People didn't really enjoy doing that, but at the same time, people also don't enjoy asking these questions on the spot. But one thing I noticed about case studies is case studies now are more on the spot. Like, how would you solve this? Like, they don't want to wait, like, sending you guys the PDF. Oh, did you get it or did it go into your spam folder? And then getting it back, getting it like, no, we're all here right now. Let's just do it right now. So know that the shot clock's 8 to 10 minutes. Know that if you're going to be asking clarifying questions are still good and clarifying questions are still important because the types of clarifying questions that you ask also reveals what your thought process is and whether or not they think you're smart enough to go out there and work there. Like, do you have a good head on your shoulders? But just know that almost 95, 99% of the time, because CarMax is not in the business of selling Japanese maple trees. Last time I checked, they're in the car business. They're just gonna go ahead and give you like a lot of vague and like we had this question where it's like, how would you roll out a financial product for Uber drivers in Brazil, right? And it's just like people are like so stuck on like Brazil, what's the population? They start asking like clarifying questions. After three clarifying questions, it's like if you don't get it by now, we're not giving you shit. It just shows that you have really low EQ and that you're just freaking stalling. Because after like three clarifying questions is good. Five clarifying questions, okay, maybe this person's really detailed, but I've also seen people completely massacre their interview by like going to 7, 8, 9, 10 interview clarifying questions. And that's just like, if you don't get the fact that we're not giving you more info, then it just sounds like you're a really incompetent person that we shouldn't be entertaining talking to anymore. But mock interview and practice doing this more.
Okay, so quick question. So in regards to, let's just take this example, regardless of it's Japanese maple trees or selling shoes or whatever product, right? So I think the first three that I'm really focused or that really resonated as far as understanding like what they're trying to ask or what they're trying to solve is kind of what Mo and sorry, the other individual said was to so like really understanding what is the current like what does the current pipeline look like? What does the current user journey look like or current process look like? Um, at what point is the user involved? And what is the current pain point that the user is currently facing? Right? I think that would kind of outline what's going on and like where like what problem we're trying to solve, right?
Yeah.
Now let's just say like, hey, the problem here is with the purchasing process.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, so I guess that's when I kind of get my ammo from them. They will feed me some sort of answer like saying, oh, the buying process, or there's an issue with shipment, or there's an issue with the UX UI or whatever. From there, I then can dig deep into coming up with solutions for that. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and this sounds very familiar because it's very similar to consulting cases. Okay, they start with a broad prompt, and they want you to ask really good questions. And in the context of product management, the first thing you need to do is demonstrate that you are business driven. Because everything you want to make sure you're solving the right problem. So you define what is the business problem that we're trying to solve. And the first clarifying question I would ask is, what is success look like? Okay,
Okay.
what is our financial objective? Do we want to grow sales or do we want to reduce attrition? Okay, like do you have declining sales or do we want to grow our sales? Great. We've clarified that this is the business problem. Okay, great. So now, what are some of the challenges we're facing?
Okay.
Okay, they walk you through some of the challenges. Oh, we have this, we have that. We're like, okay, what is have we identified any bottlenecks in the process? Or can you very briefly walk me through what the process looks like? It's kind of you're working through it with them. You're
Okay.
you're narrowing it down and you're slowly like on the spot having a conversation around it. And you're like, okay, so based on this, we've identified three key challenges, right? Um, we have we're not we're not growing at the rate of the market, right? So something is going wrong with our process. Um, uh, or maybe lately we've been having a lot of delayed shipments, right? Or we're not converting into a lot of our marketing, whatever it may be. Okay. So then you narrow down these three problems and you're like, okay, fine. So for the first problem, these are various options I would explore. For the second one, this is what I would explore. Blah blah blah. So you're
Okay. Let's just say it's a delayed in shipments, along with um let's just say it's a delayed in shipment and problem with sourcing.
okay.
How would you
Yes.
answer?
So if it's delays in shipments, we're like, have we recently switched over to a new vendor?
Okay.
Or have we had a spike in demand? Like what are the core problems that we're facing here? And then now you're really narrowing down that, okay, fine, it looks like we switched to a new vendor, it's not working out. Or maybe the vendor we've had, we've really outgrew them at the pace of orders that we get. So maybe now we need to start diversifying our mix of vendors that we do. Or have we had bulk orders, or is it just a lot of individual smaller orders that we're having? So maybe now we need to rethink our supply chain and how we hold inventory or not, right? So there's a lot of angles you can take it. But the fact that you're really thinking and narrowing down the problem and you're dynamic in the way that you are asking those questions is what's gonna help them click.
Right, right. Because
Toronto.
yeah, I think that was really good. Thank you so much, Mo. Because I think they don't really care about because there is no perfect answer, right? They want to know how you think through the process. So asking these questions to get clarity or
Hey,
clarifying questions is the big.
I want to get. Yeah, I want to say like also from my experience with I've had similar like questions, not the specific one with the retail like supply chain, but what they're looking for is how you expand the problem definition. Right? They gave you like just one question, how are we gonna sell or how are we gonna import X product from this country, right? And that's where they start. This is your starting point, and the way to think is like how do you explore the problem space, right? They're not really looking for solutions. They're seeing like, can this person define the problem? Does he know how to navigate ambiguous problem statements, like where whatever is coming is either it's coming from X department, sales department, and everything that Mo said, like it's accurate. But another thing I will go further is I'm sure you did this, but explore what the job you're applying for and how does it tie with that example? Because most likely when they ask these questions, they're trying to get they're trying to present a problem that they're facing themselves without, giving the details because of NDAs and whatever it is going on, right? So usually like you have to tie to the position they're hiring for and which departments or adjacent like, organizations are around it. And that's gonna give you like, oh, because there's a lot of questions you can ask in a limited time, right? So like saying like you have to expand your problem space, it's easier said than done because you could go in any other direction, but they would look for somebody who is trying to really like grasp their problem space, whatever that role is, aiming for, that you're like interviewing for. To give you an example, I had an interview with actually it was a data product manager. I believe it was Comcast. I forgot which company. And then they gave me similar question that they want to expand electric bikes in New York City or something like that, right? And then and that's the same question. How would we start, like expanding electric bikes offering in New York City? And they gave like one location, and then that's all they gave me, and then I took it over. I expanded the whole thing, and they liked it, and then they moved me to the next round. But I could see in their eyes, you actually can notice. It's what Rich says. If you have like an EQ, like emotional intelligence, it's a buzzword, but you can tell in their eyes when you're doing the interview that they have this kind of reaction. They have poker face usually, but you can tell in their eyes. I knew it. I was nailing it, but by the the hiring manager like was looking when I was talking, and yeah.
Like
You can
look,
get clues, I'm saying, without needing to receive words if you pay attention to their face expressions.
Yep. Yep. The Amazon one is like the Amazon one recently. It's crazy because like they've been laying off people, but they also been hiring people too. Is like how would you go ahead and scale the Amazon um pets division for e-commerce? And like, you would do like a comparison with like Petco and like all that. But at the end of the day, like what companies really wanted to hear you say was like dollars, right? Like when in like recruiting, like at a staffing agency, when like they care about we make money off of placement. So like how many people we're getting like a job, we get a commission off of that. And when they're like going through like promotion interviews, like the more senior people, they're like, it's like, what should I say? It's like, oh yeah, I want to make sure like every candidate here has like a positive experience. Like, no, you want to talk about? I'm all about the dollars here, getting placements. You know, if we're throwing Lawrence into the wrong job for the next 23 months, do pull that trigger, right? Because we're billing off of that guy. They're like that's what they like everything is gonna be more revenue driven. So we'll have this little video. I gotta actually go out there and run to my next offer call, but I really loved it. Some key thoughts next round. Everybody come in here with your application, your interview numbers ready to go. I really want to get that part done within the first 5 minutes. Really shouldn't take that long. And then the second thing is like if you guys have case studies, like get it over to me like sooner the better. And honestly, everybody here, I'm gonna make it like mandatory. Let's go ahead and take a look at the people. Mo, you're the reigning champ right there, dude. That was fantastic. You guys should be doing like a case study mock interview, because what I am seeing for the past 8 months is the trend of like less presentations, more on the spot case study interviewing. Just because like they don't like I told you, they don't do anything with those presentations, and it's a waste of time going back and forth. They just want to just see like, okay, like how would you do it? Like those, and people don't even enjoy putting together the whole deck anyways, right? So they actually want to just see you do it like more on the spot. I've seen some people on YouTube say like you can chat GPT it, but get used to like answering it. Everybody here should be reaching out to Mo. Mo, that was great. Most product manager case studies do come from consulting case studies. In fact, that's actually where they came up with the idea of issuing out case studies for product managers during the interviews and uh
yeah, and then I mean, I'm like at the end of the day, product management is an intersection of business, technology, and people. So you always need to think of it from those three levers, right? Ultimately, we want to gear all of our efforts towards a business outcome. We want to think about the current pain points that our customers are facing, and then think about the solutions from a technology lens, which are features, enhancements, whatever it may be, right? Like, and if we just approach it from that lens, I think we'll be good. And Lawrence, like if you wanna do a mock interview, happy to do it. Happy to
Yeah, we'll love it. Thank you. My case study is on Monday, so I definitely want to get some practice in before that.
let's do it. On Friday afternoon, I'm free.
Okay.
And if anybody's available to help me out, just like to do a very quick pulse practice for like 15, 20 minutes on some basic.
Everybody should be doing it. Do not this. You guys are gonna get it anyways. So Austin, I'm talking to you.
Yes, sir. That was great, guys. Thank you guys so
Better.
much.
You see why I had to like hunt your ass down and shit?
I appreciate it more than you know.
I'm gonna collect from you. Don't worry about that. But yeah, everybody get like I think also like even some of the people that do know it, like the veterans here, like Alice or I know Michael's got like plenty of years of it on the experience, or like Alonzo, like do more mock interviews. It'll help you close your next job because like sometimes you even know the information, but it doesn't come out of your mouth as smooth. Like you are putting up a show here. Product management interviewing, there's a certain degree of entertainment that's involved to it. Today was to go ahead and wrap it up. Fantastic call. Julia, you still with us? You still want to be a product manager?
Yeah, I was gonna say Mo's answer to that was better than anything I could have said, and I have experience in both supply chain and data.
Go. All right, people. I got to go ahead and run more offers to come. We'll go ahead and talk to you guys very, very soon. It was a really good call today, guys. Thank you.
Thank everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have a call tomorrow, right, Rich?
Yeah, that's the resume call, buddy.
Okay. All right.
Thursdays are for
Thank you.
resume. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Watch the YouTube I'm sending out and apply. Okay. All right. Bye.